Alrighty, let's do it differently this time. I've been trying a couple things with music and different ways to narrate and add music and do things. Just tell me what you like most. I've decided to go back for the first time in quite a long time to post narration. We just have a duel and then speed it up by 1.5 times, although this one's 2 times because it took quite a little while. And just narrate over that. So I'm using Batteryman. It was using Battle 150, Duel 154, I think it was, if I recall correctly. Was a deck request back then. Haven't used it since. This deck hasn't actually been updated or changed since. I don't remember changing it, and I just saved it as it was. And unlike a lot of my decks that I used to use, this deck didn't need a change. This deck didn't need to take out a skill drain or a tour guide of the underworld or a heavy storm or a solemn judgment or anything like that. This deck was just able to be played as is. Maybe it was slightly after the video that I made with the deck request for this deck in it that the format changed and then I updated the deck. Could be. I don't actually remember at one point in the year I made the video. I'd have to check. But all I know is this is how I had the deck. I saved it, and I just went with it. At first, I didn't really like my hand because I had one AAA, and I kind of won a second. I did have Microcell and Inferno Reckless Summon, and I knew that I'd be able to summon. Well, I did one I didn't actually realize yet. I was just thinking, let's just summon a level 4 Batteryman, and then like normal summon AAA, and whenever I get a different AAA, I can just summon that one. But then I realized the only level 4 Batteryman that I have is AAA, so that wasn't very useful. It didn't go according to plan anyway. But what I only realized like near the end of the video is that I reminded myself of a combo with the Batteryman and Inferno Reckless Summon, being that you can summon Batteryman, I believe it's AA. And AA for normally has 0 attack and 0 defense. But if it's in attack position, it gains 1,000 attack for every Batteryman AA in attack position. Now, if it's on its own, it's still it's a Batteryman AA itself, so 1,000 attack. It can become 3,000 attack if you have 3 of them, and then all 3 will have that effect. So 3 times 3,000, 9,000. And then if you happen to have this one spell card that I'll draw into either next turn or the turn after, that's OTK. That's generally how you do OTK in this deck, and I didn't remember exactly how, but that's how you do it. The opponent here had Thunder King Ryo in defense position. Now, I wasn't quite sure why, because I didn't have a big threat on the field like any face-up monsters, and Ryo has 1900 attack, so it's a nice beater just because of that, but also because its effects. It's nice to have. So, but they decided to put in defense. I'm not gonna question their choices too much. I'm not them. And would they later realize that it would have been a good choice? Well, then they've learned something, and that's good. Because everyone has to start somewhere. Now, in this turn, I do believe I just attack. And I think, probably not Mirror Force because he didn't use it last turn. He does have it, which does lose me my Microcell. The idea was here that I just switch the Microcell to defense in main phase 2, because I forgot to do it in main phase 1, which unfortunately cost me the monster. But the idea was then to just have that in defense and set Microcell, hopefully have them not attack it, and then flip summon it to get the third Batteryman and then Short Circuit, at which point I wasn't actually remembering the fact that I could use Inferno Reckless Summon, and I never thought of Batteryman AA at that point anyway. I do find that out later, but yeah, Short Circuit was the spell card I was referring to as well. Very powerful. If you have 3 Batteryman face-up Batteryman monsters on your side of the field, you are actually able to destroy every card the opponent controls. And what I'm doing here is checking something about Rico, because, well, it's kind of late. It's like I recorded this just before 10 in the evening. Like, I'm just recording this now, I'm going to throw it on upload, and then hopefully it'll be done soon, and then I'm going to, like, brush my teeth and go sleep. because I have school tomorrow. But anyway, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I couldn't remember whether if Rico Lights on Hunter does not destroy a monster, like it didn't destroy Silent on Arc, if it still sends the cards from deck to grave. I was almost entirely certain that it did. Wasn't completely certain, and the opponent didn't do it. So I was like, do they not understand the ruling, or do they just forget, or something? And I was like, I'm just gonna be entirely certain. I can look it up. Now, obviously, for things like the admin exam, you'd have to know these kind of things and be able to read the card, and I was pretty sure from reading the card I knew that you'd be able to mill it. But even when there's a slightest bit of doubt, even for admins like in calls, even though you normally know them, might as well look it up if you have the availability for it. Like, it's a strange example, but let's say you run a math test, yeah? You can use your calculator in that. Then obviously, if there's 27 times 385, it's like part of the question. At some point, you'd probably use your calculator for it. There's ways to do it without, but that saves quite a lot of time. Somewhere else, you have to calculate the area of something like of a rectangle, and it's 4 times 7. You learn this in primary school. 4 times 7 is 28. However, a lot of times on exams, and I've caught myself doing this a few times as well, not a lot, but even I've caught myself doing this, you type in 4 times 7 on your calculator just to be entirely sure that it's really 28. Because you don't want to mess up and miss multiple points because you made that one stupid error. It's the fear that you do something simple really, really wrong that makes you have to check it. But that does happen. So, although I felt less sure about the Rico one than I was about the 7 times 4 and whatever else I would mostly find. But, you know, things happen. Alright, my turn again. I get my spell, my recycling batteries, and here I realize, wait a minute, Inferno Reckless Summon, I can do awesome stuff. Microcell, into Reckless summon something into Reckless Summon. I'm like, wait, what can I summon? Not a lot. I would almost have to summon AA. But then Double A was there, and I was like, oh my god, yes, I can use this. So I summon it, Inferno Reckless Summon into the other two, Short Circuit, and then just direct attack. And that's game. The video will go for a little over a minute, but that's about it. Just summon all of them, play Short Circuit, destroy them, and that went. So I suppose I'll just end the narration here. There's not a lot else to add. Let me know what you think of this kind of video where I do post narration where I speed up the video, and I will see you guys in the daily video tomorrow. Bye.